if someone was trying to kill you, could you hold back your response? Today, we're going to finish up talking about David running from King Saul. So now I'm going to pick the story up in 1 Samuel chapter 23. And the story is David hiding out because he finds out that Saul is trying to kill him. So instead of defending himself, David hides with, I want to say, okay, 600 people. So 1 Samuel 23. So David and his men, about 600 of them now, left, I think it's pronounced Keilah, and began roaming the countryside. Word soon reached Saul that David had escaped, so he didn't go to Keilah after all. One day near Horish, David received the news that Saul was on the way to Ziph to search for him and kill him. Why are you trying to kill me so hard? Anyway, skipping down to verse 25. When David heard that Saul and his men were searching for him, he went even further into the wilderness to the great rock, y'all. And he remained there in the wilderness of Moab, but Saul kept after him in the wilderness. Saul and David were now on the opposite sides of the mountain. So Saul is chasing David. David is going deeper and deeper and deeper into the forest or woods so that Saul can't catch up with him. David is doing all he can do to not fight Saul. Just as Saul and his men began to close in on David and his men, an urgent message reached Saul that the Philistines were raiding Israel again. So Saul is so bent on killing David, he has left Israel uncovered. So you're chasing David. David ain't doing anything to you, right? And so now Israel getting attacked because you're not in place. So Saul quit chasing David and returned to fight the Philistines. Ever since that time, the place where David was camped has been called the Rock of Escape. 1 Samuel 24. After Saul returned from fighting the Philistines, he was told that David had gone into the wilderness of En-Gedi. Now's your opportunity, David's men whispered to him. So they were in En-Gedi. David had a chance. He saw Saul, but Saul didn't see him. So his team, the 600 men, are trying to tell David, go ahead and kill Saul so we can stop running. Now's your opportunity, they said to him. Today, the Lord is telling you, I will certainly put your enemy into your power to do with as you wish. So David crept forward and cut off a piece of the hem of Saul's robe. So Saul went to go use the restroom and didn't see David. David was crouched behind him. That's how close he was. He cut off a piece of his hem. But then David's conscience began bothering him because he had cut Saul's robe. He said to his men, the Lord forbid that I should do this to my Lord, the king. I shouldn't attack the Lord's anointed one. Right? For the Lord himself has chosen him. So David restrained his men and did not let them kill Saul. And after Saul had left the cave and gone his way, David came out and shouted after him, my Lord the king. And when Saul looked around, David bowed low before him. Then he shouted to Saul, why do you listen to the people who say, I am trying to harm you? This very day you can see with your own eyes it isn't true, for the Lord placed you at my mercy back there in the cave. Some of my men told me to kill you, but I spared you. For I said I will never harm the king. He is the Lord's anointed one. He said, look, my father, at what I have in my hand. It is a piece of the hem of your robe. I cut it off, but I didn't kill you. This proves that I am not trying to harm you and that I have not sinned against you, even though you have been hunting for me to kill me. May the Lord judge between us. Perhaps the Lord will punish you for what you are trying to do to me, but I will never harm you. As that old proverb says, from evil people come evil deeds. So you can be sure I will never harm you. Who is the king of Israel trying to catch anyway? Should he spend his time chasing one who is as worthless as a dead dog or a single flea? Now, this is David talking about himself. May the Lord therefore judge which of us is right and punish the guilty one. He is my advocate, and he will rescue me from your power. When David had finished speaking, Saul called back, is that really you, my son, David? Now, pause. Oh, now I'm your son after you trying to kill me? But okay. Then he began to cry. And he said to David, "You are a better man than I am, for you have repaid me good for evil. Yes, you have been amazingly kind to me today. For when the Lord put me in a place where you could have killed me and you didn't do it, who else would let his enemy get away when he had him in his power? May the Lord reward you well for the kindness you have shown me today. And now I realize that you are surely going to be king and that the kingdom of Israel will flourish under your rule. Now swear to me by the Lord that when that happens, you will not kill my family and destroy my line of descendants." So David promised this to Saul with an oath. Then Saul went home, but David and his men went back to their stronghold. So David still had to camp out hiding, right? It doesn't seem like it's fair, right? So we're talking about why choosing peace over payback was protecting his anointing. Now, I'm not going to tell you a story. This is one of those areas I'm having to grow in, okay? Because often it is easy to defend ourselves. Listen, not you got me crouched out here with these 600 men running for my life, trying to kill me, obsessed with me. Why can't you get over me? David is literally throwing himself under the bus, telling him, I'm a flea, I'm nobody. And Saul is still so obsessed with him. David at this point does not fully even see his own potential. He doesn't see it. Like at this point, David is not even, he doesn't, it's like it's not hitting David that he truly is the next king, but it's hitting Saul because Saul won't quit. So, has there ever been a time in your life where you chose peace over payback? Woo! Peace over payback. That is something I have to work on, something I'm learning still. Drop it in the chat. Have you gotten to the place where you can choose that peace over payback? Do you sometimes choose peace, sometimes choose payback? Listen, it is a growth journey. You can be honest, okay? Because why am I running in the woods? Okay, David. Anyway, sometimes there's a difference between opportunity and God's timing. His men were like, surely God has delivered your enemy into your hand to do whatever you want to do with. And David still was like, no, I won't lift my hand against God's anointed. He just wouldn't do it. Um, let's see, there's emotional and spiritual discipline required not to retaliate. And listen, when I tell you I've had to grow in this, listen, you got to have so much discipline. And God will form that in you, but is that an easy formation? It's painful. It's painful. It's growth though, you know. Look, whole time David could have just stabbed you. Listen, you wouldn't even known what happened. I skipped the part where it said Saul was, relieving himself, in the woods. Um, This is your reminder that you never lose choosing honor. Sometimes the test is not what you do, but what you don't do. Now, that one is hard right there. Listen, sometimes it's what you don't do. So, I want to ask you a few journaling prompts. I got to read them right here. So, where in my life am I tempted to retaliate or defend myself, but God is inviting me to choose restraint? The defending myself, when I tell you, okay, so I got to go ahead and share the story. Listen, so I've been on this healing journey. And I go get like dry needling where, they go down deep to loosen those knots. And, I pray about them and I'm like, Lord, why do I have these knots? And God gently whispered, because you won't stop fighting and defending yourself. I'm like, but I'm not even around people. My stance over the years from defending myself has gotten me into like this internal forever stance, just ready to defend myself. I didn't even know it because I'm not even around people. I'm like, listen, I'm isolated, I'm focused, I'm in a whole different season. But yet inside of myself, internally, and so that's what I'm working on. I'm having to remember that God defends me. I'm having to surrender to God. And when I tell you it's hard, it hurts. I don't always get it right. And sometimes we think about it as in like someone is saying or doing something, but I just have a stance overall of just a defensiveness inside me. I just didn't even realize that was my mindset, right? So now I'm having to do that inner work where I, take deep breaths and think about it. Maybe someone didn't mean it sideways, right? Maybe, maybe they're not out to get me. I just have leftover, stuff from when it was a season when people came at me like that. But what about you? The next journal prompt: what emotions rise up in me when I feel misunderstood, mistreated, or overlooked? What emotions rise up in you when you feel misunderstood, mistreated, and overlooked? Yeah, I don't even want to do the video because I know I'm still working on this. Because what? Why does that bother us so much though? I'm learning. Just be misunderstood and save your energy. That's another journal prompt for you though. Number 3, what would it look like to trust God with this situation instead of trying to control the outcome? What would it look God like for you to trust God with the situation and not try to control the outcome? Whew. 4, what is one place I need to release the desire for validation or being right? Listen, because clearly David was not in the wrong, baby. David was not wrong. He was running, taking 600 people. So you got all those crouching out here. You could just go and get rid of your boy. You know what I'm saying? But you're not, because you won't lift your hand to the person that's trying to kill you. And they had to really trust David to follow his leadership. Because I'm like, I'd have been like, I don't know if David is the right leader for me, honey. He don't know what he's talking about. Like, listen, his heart was just pure then, because everybody was trusting David. Like, they was like, okay, well, David said it ain't time, so it ain't time. So next prompt: how is God shaping my character in this season of restraint? How is God shaping my character in this season for restraint? Okay, so this is a hard part of David's journey. This is him running, this is him depending on God to be his rock, his fortress, to really protect him, right? If this part of David's story is speaking to you, take a moment to grab my Rise, Thrive, and Flourish journal. Listen, it's designed to help you process your feelings, your emotions, build confidence, and walk through seasons where God is developing your character, just like David. And I'm connecting this whole series to how David, while he was in these formative years, was memorizing. For me, it would be more like journaling. Like, I would have been having to write down this stuff, but he was putting music to his anguish, to his thoughts. And once he became king, he had a scribe write it all down. So you could tell he had really rehearsed it and rehearsed it for him to remember it, right? But that's how I use my journal. I use my journal in that same way to just process whatever is going on. And it's not perfect. Like, some days I miss journaling, some days I journal better than others, but it's just a processing agent, right? It's just one of those tools that you can use that'll help you, get things out, think about them. Often when I write things down or I journal them and I just sit with it, I can see it from a different perspective. It'll give me a different kind of insight. But I don't know. Listen, this season right here for David, ooh, um, I don't know. It's hard. It's really hard because he knows he's the next king. He knows King Saul is wrong. He knows, and yet he won't hurt him. And this is why David gets so much recognition. This is why so many people respect David. Even to this point, I'm looking at my notes. This is why, like, he's well known, you know. Um, so I need to look up a psalm for this specific video. And I think I'm gonna do Psalm number 7. So I'm gonna pull it up in my and that's where David is saying God judges the heart. When he was telling Saul, he was like, hey, God judges my heart. Like, I have a chance to hurt you, but I'm not doing that. So I'm looking down. I'm just looking for the scripture. Okay. Psalm number 7. I come to you for protection, O Lord, my God. Save me from my persecutors. Rescue me. If you don't, they will maul me like a lion, tear me to pieces with no one to rescue me. O Lord, my God, if I have done wrong or am guilty of injustice, if I have betrayed a friend or plundered my enemy without cause, then let my enemies capture me. Let them trample me to the ground and drag my honor in the dust. Arise, O Lord, in anger. Stand up against the fury of my enemies. Wake up, my God, and bring justice. That's where I'm going to stop. Listen, Psalms was pointed out right here. Psalms 57 is another good psalm where David talks about being hidden under God's wings. And you can tell that's what he was going through. Have mercy on me, oh God, have mercy. I look to you for protection. I will hide beneath the shadow of your wings until the danger passes. And this Psalms 57 for the choir director, a psalm of David regarding the time he fled from Saul and went into the cave. Like, you got whole psalms about it. I know in my relationship I'm having to grow. Hey, what about you? Not me hiding in a cave. 600 people. This had to be a deep cave. I need to do a little more research on this cave, honey, because 600 people was with him, all telling him, you know what? This our chance. Get him, get him, get him. David was like, no, I will not lift a finger against God's chosen. So David knew he was chosen, but he also still had reverence for the fact that Saul had been chosen and was still king. He was not going to dethrone Saul. Listen, it's honor in that alone. Because now everybody be, you know what, I'm king now. It would have been a whole rap song out about it. I'm the king. You not. Bow down. Like something. Anyway. I want you to check out these video series I've been doing on David. I think this is video number 6. And catch me in the next video. Do those journal prompts. I'll make sure they are in the description. And have a good one.